super mind-blowing stuff. Please stick around all the way to the end because you're really going to be missing out if you just watch the beginning and quit, because this is not your typical sun simulator 5G Li-Fi video. I want to show how all of this stuff is related into one network, how these are all parts of one system, and how this system of control is terrifying, terrifying shadow government plot. The world we live in is nothing like we've been told. And I'm gonna go into that. So please stick around to the end, because the really shocking stuff, because I gotta lay the groundwork first through all of these different technologies. It isn't until later on that I really start talking about the really fringy, crazy stuff that's just mind-blowing, but I believe it to be true. So let's start with the new Li-Fi technology. Not only are they moving us from Wi-Fi into Li-Fi, but Li-Fi uses LED lights to transfer information. So what's the real reason that they're herding us all into using LED lights, LED bulbs instead of incandescent bulbs? Is it really environmental? Is it really to save on resources and save the poor billions of dollars in electric bills because LED lights are so much more efficient? Or is there something else going on here?
Imagine a world where light becomes data. We all know how a light bulb works. When an electrical current is applied to an LED light bulb, a constant stream of light is emitted from the bulb, which we see as illumination. The current, and therefore the light, can be modulated at extremely high speeds. This can be detected by a photodetector and converted back to electrical current, therefore carrying data. This is the nervous system of an internet revolution.
Li-Fi stands for Light Fidelity, a high-speed bidirectional wireless communications technology that uses light waves from LEDs rather than radio waves. Downstream data is transmitted by light, and upstream data via an infrared emitter.
That is, the waves that carry the energy cycle at a much faster rate than radio waves. Light also has a frequency range 10,000 times greater than radio waves, going up to 790 terahertz versus a maximum of 300 gigahertz for radio waves.
So from the introduction of wireless technology at all, and this Internet of Things where they connect us wirelessly, before light waves, it was just regular Wi-Fi radio waves, which are essentially the same thing, but they resonate at different frequencies. So the new LED technology are just higher frequency in the visible light range. But anyway, the scary thing is that they've built this entire prison network around us, a literal invisible prison, an invisible spider web called the Internet of Things. And they've told us how wonderful it is that we should have all of this technology that monitors what food is in our refrigerator, because certainly that needs to be connected to the Internet of Things. They need to know how much energy we're using in our appliances. They put all the smart meters in. But the point is that there is an Internet of Things, whether you are using smart appliances or smartphones or smart cars or not. If you are, this is what we're talking about. They want everything connected to the Internet of Things so that they can monitor every single thing you do. But honestly, as high tech as this all seems, it's really very primitive. This is compared to Li-Fi, this is super primitive. This is what they have in mind, which is already happening. We're so blinded, we don't even realize when we buy all of these LED lights and we put them in our house that they can, through the electrical wires in our house, they can broadcast their frequencies right on top of us, right? If you've watched my brain video about how the brain is a receiver, this is a bigger deal than just them accessing everything in your home. The LED system acts as instant tracking devices because each light acts as a separate IP address. So they can track your movement through your own home. They can broadcast data in light waves into your brain and into your devices. So if you have LED lights in your home right now or in your office, that technology is already accessible to the people in the know. And of course, the Big Brother controllers want to. They've been doing it forever. This is an old article from like 2012. That's 6 years ago. CIA Director David Petraeus recently announced that the government can use our household appliances to spy on us through microprocessors embedded in every household appliance, smart meter, cell phone, blah, 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 blah. The CIA is able to remotely intercept and access all of your information and all of this stuff. But again, like I said, this is primitive. Items of interest will be located, identified, monitored, and remotely controlled through technologies such as radio frequency identification, the RFID chips, which I'll go into here in a minute about how Elon Musk and everybody in the transhumanist movement and how they want these RFID chips. They want neural implants to biologically link our nervous systems and our brain into the Internet of Things. But anyway, remotely controlled through technologies such as RFID chips, sensor networks, tiny embedded servers, and energy harvesters, all connected to the next generation internet using abundant, low cost, and high power computing. The latter now going to cloud computing, in many areas, greater and greater supercomputing, and ultimately heading to quantum computing. And we know all of that's here. It's here now. This is an article from 2012. So way back then, when they started doing those sort of press releases and introducing us to, the thought of this Internet of Things, on the other hand of the octopus, the other arm of the octopus, they were trying to forcibly make everybody change over from incandescent bulbs that we've all used since light bulbs were invented, to LED. So they started out with this, like here's, let's just go to Wikipedia, phase out of incandescent light bulbs. They're always under the guise of how they're helping us and they're so environmental and, these wonderful saviors of ours, these global controllers who want to force us to put all these LED bulbs in. Governments around the world have passed measures to phase out incandescent light bulbs for general lighting in favor of more energy efficient lighting alternatives. Phase-out regulations effectively ban the manufacture, importation, or even the sale of incandescent light bulbs for general lighting. Look how far back this started. Of course, we know Venezuela is a communist nation, right? And they're collapsing under the weight of that. They're all starving and everything. Brazil and Venezuela started the phase out in 2005. And the European Union, Switzerland, and Australia started to phase them out in 2009. Likewise, other nations are implementing new energy standards or have scheduled phase outs. Argentina and Russia in 2012, and the United States, Canada, Mexico, Malaysia, and South Korea in 2014, which we remember. Here's an article, the Obameter, where Obama and everybody was pushing how we need to phase out incandescent light bulbs. Remember the legislation? Obama says, quote, "I will immediately sign a law that begins to phase out all incandescent light bulbs, a measure that will save American consumers $6 billion a year on their electric bills." Oh, thank you, Obama, for socially engineering us and forcing us and making choices for us. Oh, how lucky we are that you are so much smarter than us and you're here to save us by making us put light bulbs, LED bulbs in our homes so we can be under constant surveillance and frequencies can continually be beamed on top of us no matter what room of the house we're in. Even if we're in the bathroom sitting on the pot, you can still monitor us and beam your frequencies right into our brains, cell phones, anything you want. Through a mix of federal standards and consumer actions, LED bulbs are growing fast. While there has been some opposition to this transition, particularly in conservative circles, not always accurately presenting the details of the shift. See, so they're like, okay, not only are they saying that the only opposition to this is coming from conservative circles. Praise God for that, right? Hey, good going, guys. You guys were able to spot a demon when you see it. But they go on, of course, in the article to say not always accurately presenting the details of the shift. So, in the process of this, of them forcing us to put these LED bulbs in our homes and in everything, uh, not knowing, most Americans not understanding the Wi-Fi technology, that they're moving us into a wireless internet system that literally comes through our lighting system. So there was opposition to this, and although a lot of this legislation has gone through, has gone down the pike and been implemented, we still have access to incandescent bulbs. But you'll notice if any of you are still using incandescent bulbs, and I am trying, but they're forcing us that way because the incandescent bulbs, because Philips and the different bulb makers, the light manufacturers, they are on the cutting edge of profiting off of the Wi-Fi technology, producing the LEDs. So if you guys have noticed, what has happened is this inferior product in incandescent bulbs. You used to be able to put a light bulb in and last forever. You put a light bulb in now, you might get days. I'm not talking weeks or a month or 2 months. You guys know I'm telling the truth. If you are using incandescent bulbs, I've tried every brand still available on the market. I put in an incandescent bulb and it might last days. Literally, it'll burn out every 5 days. And, some of them might last a week or 2 weeks, and they burn out literally every week or two. Now, I've been on this planet several decades and I've used incandescent bulbs my entire life. And yeah, I remember, gosh, when I was in my 20s, I could change a light bulb in my apartment, and I mean, it might last all year. I might not have to change a light bulb for like a year, but now it's every few days. And that's because they are purposely producing inferior products. They've come, you know how the cabal works. They come at us in all directions to force us into their will, force us to comply with their social engineering. And that's what they've done. So now we have these light bulbs with these thin, inferior wires that they burn out within days. So it's just another way that they're like, if we can't force them through legislation and make it criminal for them to buy or sell incandescent bulbs, then we'll just sell them incandescent bulbs that don't work. So they'll be forced to buy LEDs just financially because I can't afford to keep replacing my light bulbs every 5 days. So they're like, oh, look, LEDs, they last for years. They last forever. See how we're helping you there? Put our wireless frequency beaming stuff over your head now. And everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to get me some LEDs. They last forever. Okay, so just when you think it can't get any worse than this, it gets way worse. You guys, this is going to blow your mind. And this is going to be kind of out there for some people who haven't been following this thing for over a decade. But I'm going to say it anyway because it's the truth. Okay, so here is a patent, US 8736272B2. I'll put the link below in the description box. This is for an LED solar simulator system. Now I'm talking about a sun simulator that is LED. Can you imagine an LED light so huge that it would simulate the sun? And don't think this is something that hasn't been produced, that hasn't already gone to manufacture and hasn't already been produced. Here is a picture of a solar simulator, an LED solar simulator that the Germans made. So it's no coincidence that the Germans have already gone past the point of, engineering, building, manufacturing, all of it, and actually created these enormous LED transmission systems because it was also a German who introduced the whole LED Li-Fi technology. This is Professor Harold Haas. There he is holding a little LED bulb, giving his TED talk back in 2011. I'll put that link below if I can scrounge it up. Otherwise, you can just search it and you can pull up the video of his TED talk. But yeah, so Professor Harold Haas introduced the Li-Fi technology. Professor Harold Haas is a German professor of mobile communications at the University of Edinburgh, and he is the person who coined the term Li-Fi. Haas was elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society of Edinburgh in 2017. So they know what they're doing. They know this is not just a sun simulator. This is a giant Internet of Things beast, antichrist monster satellite that can be deployed to beam frequencies. And you just saw it. These light frequencies, these LED frequencies, they carry information, they carry data, and it's two-way. They receive our information, the information that we are putting out in light, which we as humans have a light signature. We have a frequency signature. Every organ in our body resonates at a different frequency. So this technology that the people in the know are so far above us in technology, they've kept us in the dark for so long that we can't even fathom. This is shocking to even talk about this going on, but what I'm saying is so far below what is actually going on. If we actually knew how far along in this Antichrist beast system that we are, I mean, people would go into panic mode. But I'm going to tell you the truth anyway. Okay, so there are agencies, this shadow government, this multinational globalist cabal, shadow government, deep state, satanic, awful, Luciferian control system. They've already done it. They have been beaming these frequencies at our brains and over our nations for a long time. People have been taking these pictures in our skies for a long time, and they pop up on the UFO sites. People say, "Is this a UFO? What is this that I see in the sky?" And other people say, "This is the sun simulator. Our sun is dying," and all of this type of thing. And we don't know. The Bible says the sun will go black, so maybe it is. So a lot of that's speculation. But what we do know is that these things exist. Whether you call them a sun simulator or whether you call them LED transmitters, they are repeatedly spotted in our skies and people take pictures of them. I mean, there it is. I mean, it's there. This is happening. These satellites are deployed over our heads. Now, in light of the LED technology the Li-Fi technology that I've just shown you, this is massive. At this point, there's no way for us to even know if our thoughts are our own. Why depression is so rampant, why all of a sudden has violence risen up. And when I was a kid, we never had school shootings anywhere in any country. It just didn't happen. But now they happen all the time. Another thing we've seen that is captured all the time now is this flower petal pattern, which is what you see from an LED light. When people are taking pictures of the sun now, see these flower petal patterns coming out instead of rays? Now, this is what people are capturing when they're taking pictures in the sky of the sun now. And I know people want to say, oh, it's because of the cameras or whatever, but this is precisely what we see, this flower petal signature. When you take pictures into an LED flashlight, you'll get the same exact thing, these flower petal signature. And that's what we're seeing when people take pictures of this sun in the sky. But whether you believe that or not, it doesn't matter. This is spotted in the sky continually. Just go online and search it. There's a zillion photographs of this being caught in the sky. It's there. These things are there. They're already beaming this over our heads. I mean, think about the implications of this. It's a nightmare scenario way worse than the Matrix movie that they are linked into. They're using wires to link into all the humans here. What if none of that was necessary? What if this AI, Internet of Things, this artificial intelligence, this beast that we're expecting to come on the scene and control everybody, what if they don't need all these wires to plug into our brains? What if they can do it wirelessly by just beaming data down on us? Just like rain, invisible rain, it's raining down on us all the time. What if they've wirelessly hacked all of our chakras? What if? I mean, think about it. I think we are so far out of the know that there's just absolutely there's we can't comprehend the real wars that are going on, what the Bible talks about, these celestial wars between good and evil. I think we are so far out of the know, and that's why when we see the deep state battles and the shadow government battles and the wars, we don't know why they went into Iraq and had to get the remains of Gilgamesh at the right where the this Stargate Tower of Babel was. We don't know why they were in there. It didn't make sense to us when it was happening. I mean, we were like, okay, yeah, Iraq. Why are we going into Iraq? And they give us this, feed us this mainstream, spoon feed us these mainstream excuses and stuff to pacify us. And the same way with the bombings in Damascus and Syria. This is all talked about in the Bible, about it, this being headquartered, the battle coming to Damascus and Syria. And we're like, well, I don't understand why we're bombing. It's clearly not about chemical plants, even though that's what we were told. But we don't know. I mean,